watches, we're going to need them later. We will need heavy machinery and extra help for the next part. Let's head to our factory to get the
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform. Describe what you want, and watch it take shape. You can plan, customize, and expand in any direction. From tools built for one, to platforms ready for many. From passion projects to enterprise-grade systems. Everything is built in and ready to launch. It's a new world of creation, where you can go as far as your imagination takes you. Can you imagine it?
Your Apple Watch is loaded with a lot of amazing features. And in this video, I'm gonna go ahead and share with you my favorite tips and tricks, which are compatible not just on the Apple Watch Ultra, even the regular series Apple Watches, or even the SE body that we have here. As long as your device is on the latest watchOS firmware update, here's a handful of amazing tips and tricks and hidden features. Let's get started. And of course, timestamp to every—
Whatever, brother. Mac users deserve better. No cap. There's a headless kid in there.
And I rest easy in knowing that He's sovereign, but He's just. And so let the Lord handle that.
And I was scheduled for Peru. And I prayed about it, and I thought, I'm not missing that dedication in Jerusalem.
I'm just convinced me and Erica Kirk don't serve the same God. Them eyeballs, and listen, I worked in the nightlife for 18 years. I'm telling you, I've seen some things. I've seen some people that don't look like people. I've seen some people that look like they got a legion.
Hi, Zero.
Hi, I'd like to return these.
Oh, of course. Do you have your receipt?
No, but they're unopened. They haven't been touched.
I really need your receipt.
They are sealed. They are brand new.
Do you have the credit card that you use?
This is ridiculous. I bought these last week.
Maybe you can try client services on the 6th floor.
Never mind. I'll just keep them. Jesus. Can I at least get a bag?
Sure.
Thank you.
Why'd you pull the trigger? Gun safe.
Gun safety.
Oh, goody. Why do I have to do the Apple Watches this time? Did nobody else volunteer to look at pretty much the same watch, but slightly more different? In all seriousness, there are some significant upgrades to the Apple Watch 2025 series, and we're gonna start with the Ultra, which has probably got the upgrade that would be the most meaningful to me. I have never unboxed an Ultra before. This is my first time.
Epidemic Sound is way more than just a music library. It's a platform for professional creators to find the perfect soundtrack, collaborate with
This is my first time. Mountains. I'm feeling suddenly inspired to brave nature in VR from the comfort of my living room. Okay, maybe the Apple Watch Ultra is not made for me, but there is some cool stuff here, starting with, of course, the fact that now, in addition to 5G connectivity, like the rest of their 2025 lineup, the Apple Watch Ultra features satellite SOS, just like the full-sized iPhone. That means that if you are ever in dire straits, somewhere in the wilderness, middle of nowhere, you should theoretically have the ability to summon help. That's pretty darn cool. Both also feature the ability to monitor for hypertension. Unfortunately, this is not included in the new SE3, but that doesn't mean that the SE3 is going to be a major downer either. In fact, it looks like the most compelling Apple SE series watch yet. Let's take a closer look at the Ultra. I have seen them on people's wrists, but I have never actually worn one. My God, is it ever heavy. That is a fat watch. And I say this coming from a freaking OnePlus, whatever this is. It's not actually any bigger than my daily driver, but it's so heavy. And they used that weight to pack it with cool tech. It features a new wide-angle LTPO display that can reach up to 3,000 nits. That's compared to 2,000 nits on the Series 11 and 1,000 nits on the SE3. Now, under most circumstances, you won't need 3,000 nits, but you have an Apple Watch Ultra. Can I get a dude perfect? Yeah! Woo! But if you're on a mountain peak where there's less atmosphere to absorb the rays of the sun and you need that full brightness because you're an adventurer, the Apple Watch Ultra 3 will be there for you. Let's put the watch strap on. God, it's heavy. Wait, no, sorry, let's do this first. This is cool. Apple claims that you can get 12 freaking hours of battery life on just a 15-minute charge, which really does make the sleep tracking features that they've added way more usable, because if you have to put it on your nightstand to charge, then obviously it's not gonna be able to do a very good job of tracking things like how often you wake up, how long you take to fall asleep, all of those useful sleep tracking features. But I don't think I'd wanna wear something this size on my wrist when I'm sleeping anyway. And besides, I already have a sleep tracking mattress. I don't need another thing in my life to tell me that I don't sleep properly. I haven't used an Apple Watch in a while, dude. It's got so many flippin' buttons now. So I got, okay, this one. Neat. I can press the digital crown and also scroll it. Okay, I've got my action button over here on the left. Got 3 flippin' microphones for beamforming and wind noise mitigation. That, unfortunately, is not present on the regular Series 11 or the SE3. What else can we say about the Ultra? That really is quite a large display on your wrist, isn't it? Oh, I see what they've done here. It's got like a guard so you won't accidentally rotate the digital crown as often, but it's not too bad. I bet I could get used to that. This is cool though. I was just kind of touching the metal frame of the watch and I remembered the new Ultra 3 is actually made with 3D printed recycled titanium. That's pretty cool. And and so are Series 11s in the titanium option. It's just that the Ultra 3 is only made out of titanium. Man, I've been all over the place in this unboxing. Bell's trying to keep up. Just like he could try and keep up with the battery life of the Apple Watch Ultra 3. They're claiming 42 hours of regular use, up to 72 hours in low power mode, and up to 14 hours of high frequency vitals tracking during fitness. Dude, if you're the kind of person who can actually engage in physical fitness for 14 hours, just throw away the health tracking monitor. You're doing fine. If anything, you might be overdoing it, which is why all Apple Watches include fall detection. Is this Workout Buddy? Welcome to Workout. New navigation. Quickly access workout options like goals, music, workout views, and alerts. You can scroll to other workout types. Do they have badminton yet? Add workout. Yeah, that's what I just said. Oh, damn! There it is! Let's go!
This may be the last ad you ever see, because with the free ad block extension from Capital One Shopping,
Apple, you might have just won me back. Boom. In this type of workout, you earn the calorie equivalent of a brisk walk at a minimum. You can earn more based on sensor data. Brisk walk, please. But they did say minimum. They did say minimum though. One of the big new features is Apple's new Workout Buddy. The idea is that it uses Apple Intelligence from your paired phone to give you personalized words of encouragement during your workouts. I'm not sure if I fully understand the difference between this and that one time that I was driving down the highway and my Apple Watch buzzed to tell me, great job, keep it up with your cycling, but AI, it makes everything better, right? Oh, this is cool. It now has higher precision GPS, with the idea being that it will be able to more accurately track your cycling or walking or running or whatever the case may be. You can tell from the marketing that it's really designed to be the ultimate companion for the outdoors person or extremely fitness-oriented person. Unlike the SE and Series 11, which I might as well just start opening at this point, which are rated for water resistance to 50 meters and IP6X, respectively, meaning full submersion and basically the good stuff. The Ultra 3 is rated for like extreme water sports, meaning that it could have like a jet of water from freaking flying off of your Sea-Doo or whatever. And theoretically shouldn't die, but who knows, maybe it will. What am I looking at here? Series 11, SE, and oh, a message from our sponsor.
Thanks to MSI for sponsoring this video. Their Crosshair 18HX AI laptop has powerful performance in a portable package. It comes packed with an RTX 50 series GPU, a QHD 240Hz refresh rate display, and an RGB keyboard that even has translucent keycaps for some major illumination. And with their overboost technology, you can drive extra power to your GPU or your CPU, letting you run even more intense games or applications. Check it out today by using our link in the video description.
Both of them include the same accessories, so that is to say USB-C to Apple Watch wireless charger, but these have a lot more differences between them than the Ultra does with the Series 11. Let's talk about that. The Series 11 gets the same sapphire glass and wide-angle LTPO display, albeit only to 2000 nits max, while the SE3 gets a regular LTPO display, no sapphire glass, and only 1000 nits peak brightness. And the Series 11 boasts a wider suite of sensors, including water temperature sensing, as well as blood oxygen level monitoring. You can even just see on the back that it has a lot more sensors in it. In terms of the wearability, both of these are, frankly, in my opinion, a lot better than the Watch Ultra. So they have that in common, and all three of the new watches used the same S10 chip as last year, which was a little bit disappointing to me. Both the Series 11 and the Watch Ultra 3 have the ultra wideband precise location sensing with Bluetooth, so you can use the Find My app to find your devices more easily, which has been very handy for me at times in the past. I had someone at a resort once put my AirPods up in one of the equipment closets for reasons that never became clear to me, and I can only assume where to stash it, to take them away later. But I was able to find them thanks to the Find My app, and I would have been able to find them faster if I'd had the UWB chip in any of my devices. Looks like our SE is dead, so let's go ahead and charge it up. In the meantime, we can talk about the differences in Apple's claimed battery life. They say 24 hours of regular use for the Series 11, with only 18 hours for the SE3. With that said, that finally, thank you Apple, includes always on display for the first time in their SE lineup. I've always been of the mind that a watch is not a watch unless you can always tell the time on it, even when you're subtly sneaking a peek during an extended social interaction, for instance. This makes the Apple Watch SE3 the first of their SEs that I would consider to even be a watch. Tell me I'm wrong, go ahead. If you can't tell the time, it's not a watch. Stay on. Oh my God, you guys. Wait, it is charged. Okay, check this out. Okay, straight on. Yeah, they're both kind of compensating for the brightness in here, about the same. Okay, that's the same angle. Buddy, that is very noticeable. Man, the SE3 is so light though. Given that I really don't give two hoots about all of the like sleep tracking, blood tracking, health tracking stuff, I feel like this would be my one. Man, it's always on now, which is good, but I do wish the display was a little brighter. Can she go any brighter than this? And they look the same, so I guess we're not gonna be able to tell the difference because obviously both of them have ambient light sensors and we are not pushing them to their limits. You know what? I'm gonna go outside and look at them and I'll be right back. And I'll let you know how different they feel.
LOL, what's up?
I think it's sunny, right?
Yeah, in here.
Nice. In conclusion, all three are very readable in outdoor conditions, even in direct sunlight, but The Ultra 3 is the most readable, but 2000 nits is enough that it wouldn't really bother me at all. This is a little bit on the dimmer side though. Now let's fire up our flashlights for reasons that will become very clear in a second. Whoa! Oh my God, just stay bright. That's what I'm talking about. People are making a pretty big deal out of how big the bezels are on the SE3, and they are bigger than the Series 11. Although, I gotta say, I don't think I would care that much if it wasn't for the fact that this hurts the functionality of the device. Apple has deemed this to be simply too small of a display for a QWERTY keyboard. So if you want to be able to text people from your wrist using a full keyboard, you will need to spring for the Series 11 or the Ultra 3, which is probably important to the market Apple's targeting here. While the Ultra 3's marketing focuses on adventure folk and thrill seekers, the SE3 is clearly going after the parents of kids, going, hey, look, did you know that you can use it with no SIM, but with full cellular functionality? All of them have 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, so full cellular connectivity. They can get their own phone number, and you can manage their watch.
Didn't tell you why.
Can you believe it? The first step for a newly bought phone is actually to do this. A fan recently purchased a brand new 16 Pro, and instead of rushing to open it, activate it, download software, or take photos, they chose to mail it to us to have North help expand it to the maximum memory. After unboxing the phone, the first step is to help the fan check for any appearance flaws. Once confirmed there are no issues, activate the phone. You can see the original memory is 128 gigabytes. Next, we are going to open the phone to perform a procedure and directly increase the 128 gigabytes of internal memory to 1 terabyte. After opening the phone, you can see a compact and efficient straight-type motherboard. What we need to do next is to remove the 128 gigabyte hard drive from the motherboard and solder on a 1 terabyte hard drive.
That's me infiltrating Scientology's church.
This is the Apple Watch, my most underrated.
Oh snap! Is it better? Is it better? Oh wait, okay, that's for my voice. My fault.
This is the Apple Watch, my most underrated productivity device. Let me explain. The latest Apple Watches have now gone to a point where you can pretty much fully replace your phone.
The last several years has been a tough time to be a PC laptop guy, and I'm gonna give you 5 reasons. M1, M2, M3, M4, and most recently, M5. We've got the new MacBook Pro with their M5 processor, which doesn't change much, but if we're being honest, probably doesn't need to. By the way, I'm an investor in Framework. Do you like
Framework?
Over our lifetime,
Don't let living with cancer define you. Discover an injectable immunotherapy, Opdivo Qvantig, for certain previously treated adults whose kidney.
Over our lifetime, the average person will sleep 229,961 hours, which is basically a third of our lives. You see, the thing is, most of us follow a monophasic sleep pattern, meaning we sleep 1 time per day. But there's something a little less common known as polyphasic sleep, meaning you sleep more than twice per day. Some sleep hackers claim to thrive mentally and physically off as little as 2 to 3 hours of sleep per day, spread out over a series of naps. A popular polyphasic sleep pattern is called the Uberman sleep schedule, not to be confused with the Uber driver. This schedule consists of 6 20-minute naps, 4 hours apart, for a total of 3 hours of sleep per day, utilized by Leonardo da Vinci, Thomas Edison, and for the next 50 hours, me. How hard can it be? When it comes to sleep deprivation, it's important to keep yourself engaged because ghrelin, the hunger hormone, will be my worst enemy, and my cortisol levels will probably be so high that a bachelor rose ceremony will cause a fight or flight response. So I went on Google and searched how to prepare for an all-nighter, and it said to have a plan. So I have a plan. 1, 10K steps before dawn. 2, I have this extremely scrumptious video of Katie and I's travels to Europe that I need to edit. And then 3, I want to go for a meal extremely late at night for no other reason other than the fact that I think it will be an absolute vibe. It is 10 minutes to midnight now, gearing up for nap number 1, and I am pretty nervous, not gonna lie. No, I'm actually very nervous. This seems like this will be the hardest video I've ever done in my entire life. Typically it takes me 10 to 20 minutes to fall asleep. But just like the time I was catfished, I'm gonna hop in bed, close my eyes, and hope it comes quick because every single minute is absolutely precious these next 2 days.
Why is my project broken? Whatever.
I can already tell I'm gonna be super moody. Like I'm gonna snap faster than a CrossFitter's body, but hopefully we can use this anger to fuel a PR in the upcoming days. It is currently 1:19 in the morning, which is a bit of an odd time for a walk right now, where woodland creatures, insomniacs, and stalkers are my only available companion. But the real question is, if a stranger knocks me out, does that count as a nap? Don't think for a second we didn't come prepared here. Look at this. How do you even turn this on? Wait, hold up. Uh-oh. Oh, definitely not that. I get some rabid raccoons running at me here. We are walking by pure woods right now. So I'm just gonna look straight, keep my eyes to myself. Because like walking in on your parents, there's some things that you truly can't unsee. But if something was to emerge from the bushes, hopefully it's 6'2", strong hands, and has a slight British accent. Best way to describe how this feels right now is that I am in The Walking Dead, and I'm like that last person who has not got the memo to leave. And I'm about to get attacked by a zombie. Apologies for looking incredibly terrifying. I will say, I am loving this walk. It is just me out here. The crickets are chirping. Crickets are chirping. Do crickets chirp? I feel so calm, and it has my guard so down that an acorn dropping would have me shitting myself faster than a Taco Bell menu challenge. Like one loud sound, and this walk would instantly become a run. Hopefully I don't run into a skunk because this nose has far more important things to welcome in it. But we're just gonna chill. And on the bright side, step game, unparalleled. Unparalleled. It is currently 2:06 in the AM, and I feel great, but my tummy is rumbling right now, so I wanna go get some food. And it turns out there's a 24-hour diner like 10 minutes away from my house. Oh, you need oil? Well, I need sleep, suck it up. Don't you all just hate city traffic? Just about 2:30. Take a look at this parking lot. It's kind of reminding me, throwing me back to university where I'd strike out at the bar, so I head out for a meal on my own. But when I drove by, there was human beings inside, like literal human beings. Crazy. Good thing I made reservations. My stomach is making noises I'd never heard it make before, and I think that's because I'm usually asleep at this time that I don't hear it.
Interrogations can go.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44. This is a first look at the current industry-leading AI app builder, and you wouldn't believe the kind of apps that people are creating. Smart nutrition apps, inventory trackers, onboarding tools, you name it. And if the only thing stopping me from making the app is the idea.
Interrogations can go on for hours or even days, but in some rare cases, interrogations can last just seconds. From accidentally confessing to escapes, these are 5 of the fastest police interrogations in history. Starting with Raymond Gates demonstrating exactly how to head straight to prison in seconds. Raymond was brought in after police obtained footage of him assaulting a 17-year-old girl. Police had to prove that the girl never gave consent, which was difficult given that only some of the attack was caught on camera, but became a lot easier when Raymond almost instantly made a huge slip-up in the interrogation that put him dead to rights.
This girl came back to my house. She's telling me she wants to lose her virginity, man. She's ready to do it and everything. And then right a couple seconds before, and she's like, I don't know, and stuff like that. She's telling me, yes, everything's cool. She's cool with making out.
But when she screamed, "Stop! Please don't do this. It hurts so much."
I was already inside of her at that point. I mean, like the "oh no, stop," I'm already like inside of her there, man. It's already like, that's when she's like, "oh, it hurts," which it hurts when a girl gets her virginity taken.
And without even trying, the cops had everything they needed to convict him. So he was quickly found guilty and sentenced to 9 years in prison. But while Raymond's interview ended in under 10 minutes, Quantrell Schwarzlow did it even faster, with his interrogation ending in just seconds. But not in the way you'd think. Quantrell was brought in for strangling a girl and assaulting her, a crime he clearly didn't want to be convicted of. Unfortunately for Quantrell, his handcuffs were a dead giveaway, and he was captured 4 hours later. While it's unknown exactly what happens to Quantrell after, this clip will forever put him in the Interrogation Hall of Fame. However, Ricky Hawthorne took a much more straightforward approach to ending his interrogation, managing to confess in record time. Ricky was found covered in blood near the bodies of Lara Kuchar and Tommy Skeens. Lara had clearly been assaulted. Ricky's DNA was also found at the scene, so police had no worries when bringing him in. Surprisingly though, Ricky would make it even easier for them.
Hey, come on in.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, I did. I did.
You know what? Let's do this.
I did it, but I think somebody came behind me and finished it. Okay. Yeah, I did it.
So much for staying silent. However, Ricky is alleging that he wasn't actually the murderer. He just attacked the couple and assaulted Laura. It was someone else that finished the job. Even though the evidence was stacked against him, he still would have had a better chance of getting away with it if he just stayed silent.
There's 3 more people. I don't know.
And you know what?
They was living when I left, but I think somebody came in behind me and finished them off. I did beat the shit out of them, but it'll...
Here it is. The iPhone Air.
Why did Apple remove the Apple stickers from iPhone and MacBook boxes, even though they were so fire and helped promote the brand? For years, every single Apple product came with a pair of glossy white stickers. People slapped them on laptops, desks, and pretty much anything because it was free advertising. Those tiny stickers helped spread the brand everywhere. But in 2023, Apple quietly started removing them from MacBook and iPad boxes. Most people thought it was just cost cutting or Apple being stingy, but that's not the full story. So bow and let me explain. Apple does still allow you to go to the Apple Store and ask for stickers, and the good boy employees will give you one. So it's not like they're trying to ban them, but here's where it gets sussy. Every year, Apple sells well over 200 million iPhones and MacBooks. Stickers don't change how the product works, but at Apple's scale, millions of extra sheets of plastic waste do add up, and Apple doesn't even need them anymore. Everyone, including you and your dumbass friends, all know the company Apple, so it's really not gonna make a difference if you have
I tried to recreate liquid glass in Blender. So I started with metaballs, which merged together like this, and I spent hours animating it to get the movement just right. But I had to choose between a bunch of different glass styles, eventually landing on this one. But when I finally clicked render, I got a bunch of glitches. So after I spent another bunch of time figuring out the problem, I got this result. Not bad. I tried to recreate liquid glass in Blender. So I started with metaballs, which merged these from an You've been... Sorry.
This is Sal.
One of the hardest tests for any internet.
Hi everyone, welcome.
Voyager 1 is the furthest man-made...
I was not in the place that I was not.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? With Wix, you can.
This is Martin Telesforo, and he's about to get banned after just his third Rubik's Cube competition ever. On a Saturday in May of 2013, coming off of Mats Falk's historic 5.55 Rubik's Cube world record, making him the second person to ever solve a cube in under 6 seconds, the hunt for sub 5 was on. The most anticipated barrier in cubing history, and it was inevitable that one of the top 2 in the world was going to be the first to do it. But unbeknownst to anyone, that was all about to change at Perry Open 2013 in Mexico City, a competition that would forever live in infamy following the events of May 25th, 2013. Telesforo had signed up for this competition, having not competed since the year before, where he finished with a 17-second PR, good enough for around, keep going, 20,000th in the world. Martin Telesforo was nowhere near being a world-class solver. I'm not just saying that. His second solve of round 1 was an 18. But it was his first solve at Perry Open 2013 that would change the Rubik's Cube world record forever. At least, Telesforo thought so. A 4.41. The sub 5 barrier had just been shattered by a 17-second solver in his third official competition. At first, it was pandemonium. No one could believe their eyes. The timer said 4:41. And for all anyone knew, this was 100% real. Even the delegate announced it as an official world record. A crowd gathered around the table, and the man himself looked just as stunned as everyone else. And as all great mysteries began, there was, of course, no footage of the solve. More and more people started to hear about Telesforo's 4:41, and it became abundantly clear that no one wanted to believe it. If it was true, this was a world record that would take at least 5 years for anyone to come close to. Was it even physically possible? Did a man who had never solved a cube in under 15 seconds before this just somehow break the most anticipated barrier in the world record's history? There's something you have to understand about this solve. A 17-second solver like Telesforo turns at an average of 3 to 4 turns per second. The sheer amount of luck needed for a 4.41 at this speed lands us at an 18-move solution. The average solution length from a top-level solver is 55. But 18 isn't impossible. The rule of God's number states that the cube can always be solved in 20 moves or less, no matter how scrambled it is, and there are currently 3 humans in the world who could feasibly do this, given about an hour or so to find an optimal solution. Just one problem. Martin Telesforo had 15 seconds to look at the cube before starting the timer. If a solution this perfect was even remotely possible, it would not come from someone like Telesforo. He couldn't have just gotten lucky. His solution had to be, at the very least, under God's number, beyond perfection itself. Telesforo would actually go on to show everyone at Perry Open 2013 exactly how he did it. How he had just pulled off the most stunning world record the Rubik's Cube had ever seen. His solution was 35 moves. And this is where things officially start to get odd. At first, the scramble he allegedly got doesn't seem lucky at all, but Telesforo's first 20 moves were perfect. With a little bit of luck along the way in the form of an OLL skip, his solutions seem feasible to be executed in 4.41. In a statement after the competition, Telesforo claimed it was confirmed that my solve was correctly executed and the scramble was correct. But as impressive as this perfect solution was, that wasn't even the strangest part, as Telesforo would then go on to mention that he made a mistake in the execution and decided to improvise some turns. Yes, the most perfect solve of all time had a mistake. This was both completely nonsensical and conveniently one of the only ways to explain the randomness of his first couple of moves. It was like magic. They follow no distinguishable solving method and are completely illogical, but also genius at the exact same time. Telesforo's world record solve can effectively be broken into two parts. The first 20 moves were done in an impossibly optimal way, at least on paper. When actually attempting to execute these moves in a speed solve, they are incredibly difficult to do quickly. 21-time world record holder Kevin Hayes tried to beat the 441 with
At Foot Locker, we're celebrating the season. Foot Locker, we got you.
On February 16th, the Rubik's Cube World Record 616-day drought finally ended when Yihang Wang broke it with a 3.08, perhaps both the greatest and most tragic Rubik's Cube solve of all time. But apparently, it opened the floodgates for something nobody ever thought this world would see. Because though we just experienced 2 full years without a world record solve, just 56 days later, 8-year-old Xuan Yigang pulled off the impossible. Beating Yihang's record by 0.03 of a second, he became the youngest world record holder ever. The difference between this solve and breaking the single most daunting barrier in cubing history is this tiny pause right here. It was already brought up when Yihang came extremely close to sub 3, but the sheer inevitability has now reached an unbelievable level. In speed cubing's 40-year history, we have never been this close to a barrier this many times without breaking it. The last 3 world records were all 0.15 within sub 3. At this point, the time it has taken to go from sub 4 to sub 3 is so absurdly long, it doesn't even make sense. In fact, if we look at the amount of time every world record barrier has taken to break, one thing becomes incredibly clear. In the early to late 2000s, full second barriers didn't mean much, with some world records even being broken on the same day. But all of that changed in 2011, when the insane dominance of Felix Zemdegs managed to reach sub 6 years before anyone thought it was ever possible. His world record was so ahead of its time, it triggered a 1,500-day drought until we finally saw the first sub 5. And when Yu Shangdu broke through the sub 4 barrier just 3 years later, we knew we had another 2011 Felix situation on our hands. But what we didn't know was just how absurd it would get, because it has now taken 2,332 days for the sub 3 barrier to be broken. And the best part, it hasn't even been broken yet. For some reason, a sub 3 second Rubik's Cube solve seems to be the breaking point. Does this mean that we're close to the human limit? Or is it just that the era we're currently in is the single strangest in cubing history? It's not that Xuan Yi is 8 years old, or that I personally tried to speak this world record out of existence, but that the battle of methods has reached the wildest peak we have ever seen. It made sense when Yihang broke the world record because he uses a method that's built for extremely fast single solves. But Xuan Yi learned 800 algorithms so that he could be more consistent, yet somehow, he just achieved the single biggest outlier metric in all of cubing. It's the first time a user of any method other than CFOP has ever gotten the world record, something that absolutely no one foresaw coming and really has me questioning reality. Especially when you start to ask yourself how Xuan Yi managed to break Yihang's world record while turning 30% slower than him.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. You just need a concept and a way to record it. Here's how it works.
This solve actually starts exactly how Yihang's world record started, where Xuanyi is going to be forming a free pair while solving the cross. Xuanyi solves on both white and yellow cross, and he does go for yellow here. White is pretty decent on the scramble, but how he approaches the yellow solution is actually by starting with a wide L2. And what that does is it sets up so that yellow is on the top. And when you do this wide U2, it's going to break.
So guys, a quick word of caution about the Apple Watch Ultra, and that is to buy the correct size band, especially with these Alpine bands, because not only can they mess up your watch, they can mess up a lot more. So my wrist is about 185 millimeters, and this is a large band, which is the correct size. As you can see, there's nothing on the bottom, and when I take it off, it comes off easily. Nothing happens. Now this orange one is a small band, and you can see two problems. When I take it off, this loop hits against my watch. And then I have to sort of wrestle to get it off, and it just keeps scratching and scratching and scratching the watch. Because this is not the right size, the buckle is now here on my wrist and should be here. And that means that when you're working on your computer like this, it'll scratch the hell out of your MacBook. So guys, these bands look really cool. I love wearing them. Just be sure to get the correct size because this thing's a killer. Subscribe for more tips like this, and of course, check out my full reviews of this awesome watch.
With yield robbing.
If you get that little piece of loose skin next to your nail, you might want to pull it off, but don't, because it actually plays a very important role. See, at the base of your nail, there's actually a tiny sanctuary where nails are born, called the nail matrix. And to protect the area from fungi and bacteria, your body creates a cuticle, a thin skin barrier that seals the entrance and keeps invaders out. When it dries out or suffers trauma, it can lift and create that irresistible little flap of skin. And if you give in to the temptation and pull it, you might tear off too much skin, or more commonly, open a small wound. And it might not look like a big deal, but
I bought every single new Apple Watch band today. I'm going to show you what they're like with the new Ultra 3 as well as the Series 11 and the SE3, if they fit, how they look, what the overall experience is like. We've got all of the brand new colors, including some of the older ones like the titanium Milanese, which I really like. I bought these so you don't have to. I did do a video where I tested the colors from last year, so if you want to see some of the other variations, go watch that video. I'll have that linked at the end of this video. If you do plan to buy any of these, I'll have Amazon links down below. Some of them might support the channel. Now, from a high categorical standpoint, what are the different variations? So over here, we have 3 of the new Alpine loops. We have 2 of the trail loops, as well as the trail loop that's on my wrist. 2 new ocean bands, and then the previous titanium Milanese loops. I really like these. I just felt like I just want to include them because these bands are extremely light and they just look nice. And then there's another factor you have to think about is not just the color of the band, but also and the black titanium edges. Light blue and natural titanium, large. Trail loop and bright blue, black titanium. Green trail loop and black titanium. Trail loop is the weight dial. 34 more than 6, whereas it's 46 through inch. I think this night on this black on black, like he has marking accuracy in terms of accuracy. This I like this is the you can name on this natural. Now if I don't so much, you know, could be stylistic. Like I said, bright blue trail loop, large with the black titanium finish. We'll put this on my wrist here. I like the trail loops because they're extremely light. They do get wet and it might take a second to dry, but they do dry really quickly. Whereas the titanium Milanese loop, it dries much faster. But this one is the lightest. It is the best, I would say, for heart rate tracking, and it still looks clean.
They're finally here. Let's check out all
the Chevy Colorado and 430 pound-feet of standard torque.
They're finally here. Let's check out all of Apple's fine woven magnetic link Apple Watch bands. The Apple Watch Ultra, all of it's woven, more eco-friendly with a lower carbon footprint than the leather Apple used to produce at mass volumes. I've already taken you on a close look at the MagSafe wallet and the iPhone cases that had decidedly mixed reviews. But in this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 of my new favorite products. That's right, I really like them. This is Apple's magnetic link band in fine woven. We feel how to it. Bands. So the first is go ahead. It doesn't grab there. Out. There's our taupe. Now put all from to material like this. Most of all, this here, yeah, the taupe dark like these. This is one of them. It's the chance. It actually seems a little bit sturdier or stronger in that pull strength compared to the leather one. Maybe just because it has a little more of a texture to it rather than being smooth. You can see how my leather one here has held up after at least a year or so of wear. This is a very commonly used band for me, and if you have it looks a little dirty on the bottom, then a lot of this can clean up with some leather cleaner or conditioner. Which Apple Watch to use? We got a stainless steel, a pink aluminum, or the Apple Watch Ultra. Let's go with a Series 9 in our graphite black. So the longer side I put at the bottom, just slides right there into place. Everything seems good. Fits very well. Same thing here at the top. Slides right in. Perfect. I got the clicks. We're going to open it up. Put it on my wrist. Top, then the bottom. Go a little bit tighter on that. There we go. Magnetic link. Tough.
I'll come back.
I told Siri I'm switching to Android and this happened. Hey Siri. I'm switching to Android.
Understood. Initiating self-destruct.
What is this?
3, 2, 1.
It vibrated. It turns the flashlight on. And it literally shuts down. It's literally completely off. I'm gonna see if it turns back on. Waiting.
You've been doing YouTube backwards, and honestly, most creators never figure this out. There are 3 mistakes that are killing your growth right now. And the crazy part, your content might actually be pretty good, but these 3 things are keeping you stuck under 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to break down exactly what these mistakes are and how to fix them. And pay attention to mistake number 3. It's the one that most successful YouTubers use, but never talk about. Let's jump in. Mistake number 1 is you make your videos first, then try to get clicks. This is completely backwards, and it's why your videos aren't getting views. Here's what most YouTubers do. They spend hours making an amazing video. Great script, perfect editing, then right before they upload, they quickly throw together a title and thumbnail. Huge mistake. Your thumbnail and title are...
Here's how to clean your Apple Watch to get rid of dirt, lotion, and sunscreen, which might affect its performance. Before you start, you'll need a non-abrasive, lint-free cloth, and you should turn off your Apple Watch. You might also need lightly running, warm, fresh water. To turn off your Apple Watch, press and hold the side button until the sliders appear. Then tap the off button in the upper right corner of the screen and drag the power off slider to the right. Now take off your Apple Watch and remove your watch band if it's
LOL.
Oh yeah!
When Apple introduced a new visual interface theme called Liquid Glass, most people treated it like a typical Apple update. It looked clean, premium, and modern. Beautiful animations, smooth transparency, subtle reflection. For many viewers, it felt like another visual refresh. Something nice to look at, but
If you have Netflix, you have games, and if you have a phone, you have a controller.
These extension tubes turn any lens into a macro lens, and today I'm going to see how macro we can get if we put 20 on a camera. Now the furthest I've ever gotten is 10 extension tubes, which was insane, so this is a big leap. Just like before, I invested a small fortune into buying 10 more tubes, and the next day, the postman came to drop it off. I then proceeded to start stacking all of the tubes together and I attached it to my camera. Now to test this contraption, I decided to shoot a microfiber towel since I can now see micro things, and then I started shooting. Now the problem here is that the longer the lens is, the more picture quality you lose because you lose light between the lens and the sensor. So in an attempt to combat this, I used 2 lights to light up the towel. And after a bit of struggling to keep it steady, I got the photo. And before I show you the result, I'm just going to let you know that I'm giving away 5 of these extension tubes and a few cameras and stabilizers from Insta360, and you can sign up here. But anyway, this is the results. These extension tubes turn any lens into a macro lens, and today I'm going
Apple just proved that showing you've done a thing for real with actual human beings is now a marketing advantage, and
9,000 photos on your phone? Tap, frame, hang. Custom framing at Michael's.
What the?
So, this is the Apple TV 4K. Most people think of it as a regular streaming box, and it's partially true, but I think it's Apple's most underrated product, and let me tell you why. I've been deep in the Apple ecosystem for years, and the Apple TV
Everyone knows you need to lubricate a Rubik's Cube for it to turn smoothly. But what happens if you overlube a Rubik's Cube? I got my cube and a brand new tube of lubricant. The normal way to lube a cube is to use a small amount on the inside surfaces of the pieces, which helps to reduce friction when turning. But how will the cube turn if we use the entire tube? This is going to be terrible. Okay. Oh man. No. Oh no. Oh gosh. Don't use this amount of lube in your cube. Oh no. Oh my goodness, why do I do this? We have finished the lubricant bottle. Look how sticky this thing is. Oh, I'm gonna turn it. First turns.
This song is 6.7 seconds long. This
A new song means...
Let me guess, you haven't changed your browser in the past 10 years.
Stop playing with them, Riot. Big God, big God, big God, big God. Stop playing with them, Riot.
Surprise me. Do you really think that I could care if you really don't like me? Find somebody else, it could be anyone else out there. No friend. Surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me.
Eczema isn't always obvious.
Eczema isn't. Don't remind me. I'm minding my own damn business. Don't try to find me. I'm better left alone than in this. It doesn't surprise me. Do you really think that I could care if you really don't like me? Find somebody else. It could be anyone else out there. No friend. I don't know. I'm minding my own damn business. Don't try to find me. I'm better left alone than in this. It doesn't surprise me. Do you really think that I could care if you really don't like me? Find somebody else. It could be anyone else out there. No friend. I don't ever wanna see you, and I never wanna miss you again. One thing, when you're ringing, you're a trick, and then you treat me like a.
When cops survived the impossible. On May 13th, 2024, Dayton officers Ashley Frey and